Are getting set for Game 2. First round action of the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Celtics won on Saturday, Game 1, 103-100. And time now for the starting lineups for the visiting Boston Celtics. An overall record of 44-38 during the regular season. On the road, they were 19-22. Paul Pierce along with Tony Delk, Tony Battie, Eric Williams, and Antoine Walker. For the homestanding Indiana Pacers, a team that had the second best home record in the Eastern Conference, 32-9 overall on the season, 48-34. Jamal Tinsley, Reggie Miller, Brad Miller in the middle, Jermaine O'Neal, and Ron Artest. Isaiah Thomas in his third season, and Jim O'Brien as well in his third season. Snapper, when you look back to Game 1, one of the players that gets lost in the performance of Paul Pierce and also Antoine Walker, who made a personal run at the end of the third quarter, the productivity of Eric Williams. It got Brad Miller in early foul trouble with 2. He had to sit out of the first quarter, and Williams finished with 18 points.
Well, last year, Eric Williams played he was one of the reasons they were able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. He gives them inside presence, the ability to score outside, and it's a question of whether Williams gets a chance to get involved in the scoring. He is a physical player, so they need him up front, and they need him as kind of a surprise weapon as a third scorer.
Our 3 officials tonight, Bernie Fryer along with Ronnie Garrison and Tony Brothers. Opening tap controlled by the Indiana Pacers. Miller had 13 in Game 1 and his first pass deflected. Artest a game best for the Pacers, 26. O'Neal jumper doesn't fall.
If you're the Boston Celtics, that's where you want to keep the Pacers out on the perimeter. A jump shooting team, that will give you a chance to get up the floor, get some easy transition shots. You got to remember that both teams like to shoot out on the edges, and that should force the tempo of the game.
Delk with the miss, had a dozen in Game 1. Tinsley handling the basketball, retrieves it.
Where Tinsley's had his biggest problem this season is in the turnover area. You know, he's very capable of finding guys, and sometimes he'll opt for the most difficult play, and that forces a turnover, gets him in trouble, gets the team in trouble.
One of the reasons why they picked up Tim Hardaway, the veteran point guard, most recently with the Miami Heat. 6 on the clock, in the corner. Shot doesn't fall for Williams.
When Indiana was good early in the season and they posted that record 37-15, they did a lot of running. They got to the rim a lot.
Gets to the rim that time with the left hand. It was the second half of the season in which they struggled. We'd like to welcome the TNT audience to the NBA playoffs on NBA TV, where it can be seen in high definition through your cable or satellite provider. Brad Miller in high def. And now Tony Battie gets locked up with Jermaine O'Neal, and of course Tony Battie received a flagrant 2 early in the second quarter and was ejected from the contest.
The surprise I spoke of just sprung, and that is Williams taking that ball to the rim with a lot of authority. They were slow getting back defensively. Everyone's focused on O'Neal and Battie, and he takes the ball, gets to the rim, picks up a foul against Brad Miller.
Miller his first. He had to leave early in the contest in Game 1 because of 2 quick fouls. And Williams, efficient from the free throw line. 3 of 3 in Game 1, had those 18 points. 7 of 12 shooting from the floor. On the season, a 75% free throw shooter. What is remarkable about that game on Saturday, of course, Paul Pierce, 21 of 21 from the free throw line. The rest of the team, Snapper, 5 of 7.
Well, if a guy is going to have a 40-point night, most of the times you'll find in the NBA that he also has an extraordinary number of attempts at the line. Allen Iverson with 55 last night, exceptional all-round game. Didn't get a lot of free throws, a ton of big field goals.
Miller doesn't fall. O'Neal, the putback, no. Well, it shouldn't be a surprise that Paul Pierce gets to the line, because he gets to the line more than anyone in the NBA. He makes more, and he attempted more than anyone in the NBA.
He has a very unorthodox game.
Down the lane, Jermaine O'Neal. O'Neal had 24 on Saturday. During the regular season, he averaged 26 points against the Boston Celtics, the most against an Eastern Conference team for O'Neal.
Now, Boston's game is based on Walker's passing ability, along with the scoring, as well as Paul Pierce. Those guys are expected to make the big play. They knocked it off of Eric Williams, and Indiana gets the ball back.
The double comes, and the turnover. Tinsley searching for Miller. Uses the pick by O'Neal, but Pierce hangs with him. Here's Tinsley for three. Connects. Tinsley 3 of 5 in game one. Just a 27% three-point shooter in the regular season.
Well, it's when he takes the shot. And that one, he was completely under control, had a clear look at it, an easy opportunity for him.
Turnover. A test. The Pacers sprinting out to an early advantage, like in game one.
Well, Boston, they don't panic. They've been known for comebacks. They showed that they can stay in a game. They showed some grit. But again, if you want to beat them, you want to keep them playing outside. And every time they miss, you want to push it. And that's what Indiana's trying to do.
Miller for three. In and out. And Batie corrals it. 7-0 run by Indiana over the last minute and a half. Well, Antoine Walker, when the lead was stretched to 16, started cutting into it himself to make it a 10-point game going into the fourth quarter, and that's what he kept on telling his teammates. We must make it a 10-point game as we get into the fourth quarter. They did. And they, of course, responded, and so is O'Neal.
The beauty of the NBA is that ball has to turn over every 24 seconds as Boston takes a timeout.
Just 1 of 7 to start.
Well, you know, the shots that they're getting are from the perimeter, and those are the ones that are going to hold you down. And a lot of times, you know, they opt for the easy way out. If you can run the floor, if you can make good things happen, the high percentage opportunities are available for you. And with Thunder, O'Neal.
Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless has the largest, most reliable nationwide network.
Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
You can count on us to do what it takes to make sure your voice is heard.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse, and the Indiana Pacers have set the pace here early on as they lead 13-4.
Well, Jermaine O'Neal is a critical part of what they do inside, and they want to make sure that they have some inside presence. O'Neal has improved his game to the point where now he's a consistent threat with that jump shot. He likes to have that ball under the gun, so it'll be really important for them to take those opportunities away from O'Neal.
And the Celtics just 1 of 7 to start from the floor. That one shot made by Pierce. Here's Williams for three. Spills out. Offensive rebound, putback. Walker can do work down low.
When Walker is patient offensively, his percentage is up, his ability to get to the free throw line is up. He plays a much better game. It's when he feels a little tension. Miller.
Two. Right toe is on the line.
Now anybody should know about the three-point line. Reggie Miller should know. How could he misgauge?
All he had to do was just take not even a full step back. Williams and another turnover.
And Boston is playing the same sort of loose and ragged game that they played on Saturday that dug them in a hole. See if Indiana can build a big lead.
Took in by Brad Miller.
For Boston, they have to stop the ball at the point of attack. That means Jamal Tinsley, whoever's running offense, he has to be denied. Boston has to get better percentage shots here in the rest of the quarter.
Spin move in the lane by Walker. You talked about getting better percentage shots. Walker has the last 4 for the Celtics. One offensive rebound putback, the other coming from the lane. And he can do a lot of damage down there. Foul at the other end.
And if you talked about the difference between game 1, game 2, here in the first half, this is what should have been going on in the fourth quarter and wasn't. Passing, cutting, moving the ball, a lot of dribbling and a lot of standing, and that's what got the Pacers in trouble. I'm sure they talked about it. The playoffs are adjustments, and when you find that you've done something wrong, you want to make that correction.
Foul on Williams, his first, as Miller steps to the line, 5th in the league. And free throw shooting during the regular season, 90%, was 2 of 3 in game 1, 13 points.
5th in the league at 90%.
At 90%. Did not score in the fourth quarter, played just 2 minutes of the fourth quarter in game 1. Opening it up 19-8. Off to a tremendous start. Of course, that was the case on Saturday. Fatigue shot no, and Miller corrals it. Here's Tinsley looking to push. Miller thought about it. Williams closed. Underneath, O'Neal.
That ball is moving too quickly for the Boston defense right now, and Indiana getting whatever they want inside.
Indiana 9 of 14, shooting 64%. The Celtics just 3 of 11. Walker spins baseline, cut off by O'Neal. He travels. O'Neal came over. And that disrupted the flow of Walker. Game 1 in Boston. A 17-4 spurt by the Pacers over the last 4 minutes.
This has been a problem for Boston the entire year. Last year they were close.
Low feed. Miller to O'Neal. They are excellent in that area of the game. The Pacers, the ability, because of the way Miller can pass and distribute the basketball in a high-low situation.
Well, again, when you talk about what happened in the fourth quarter, this didn't. The ball movement, the player movement, the idea that if we move the defense, we get easy opportunities. O'Neal leading the way.
Thanks for letting me bring Fiji.
Oh, anything for you, baby. I'd give you the moon.
Antonio, in a first-half recap of the Pacers and Celtics. Plus, we will preview tonight's Game 2 in Sacramento. And let's go back to Conseco Fieldhouse.
Tremendous start by the Indiana Pacers and Jermaine O'Neal. O'Neal with 8 points and 3 rebounds, Snapper.
You know, 2 years ago, Jermaine O'Neal said that if he was given a playing time, he would become an all-star, and he's proven that to be the case here for the Indiana Pacers. And, you know, he's improved in every phase of the game. His ability to rebound, score under pressure, all of those things are there. Throwing a little bit of shot blocking, and now you know why he's also been added to the Olympic team.
Two-time All-Star in his 7th season, just 24 years of age. A year ago against New Jersey in their first-round loss. McCarty just checking in. The 3 doesn't fall.
The one thing about Boston, they don't fear the three-point shot, in that they will shoot a lot of them. It may get them in a bigger hole, but they will continue to shoot it. They are shooting 27% right now. If you're the average fan, you're sitting there saying, where's the high percentage shot? They got to get back.
0 of 4 from three-point range. The rookie out of St. Bonaventure, J.R. Bremer, with the foul. And O'Neal a year ago against New Jersey averaged better than 17 points. And they're getting it from everywhere. 25-8 here in the first quarter.
Well, not enough pressure on the ball, so it moves freely. Not enough pressure on the shooters. Shooters are getting too much time to look at the hoop.
Test with 6. Pierce doesn't fall, and O'Neal tears it down. Transition certainly a key for the Indiana Pacers, and a concern of head coach Jim O'Brien. So we can't allow them to get out into the open floor, and they've been able to do that.
Well, for Celtics fans, it's one bucket at a time. It's worked their way back into the game. They have not been able to stop making mistakes, and they haven't been able to make shots, but they have plenty of time to get back in the game, and they know the Pacers will give them that opportunity.
4 turnovers now for the Celtics. Indiana hasn't turned the basketball over, and a foul underneath. A foul on Mark 1. Along with McCarty, Pierce, Walker, and J.R. Bremer.
The object of defense is to make the offense do something that they don't want to do. Right now, the Boston Celtics are in a passive defensive attitude. They're allowing the ball to move, allowing the players to move, allowing them to get almost any shot opportunity they want.
Defensive 3-second. Called by Ron Garrettson. And a technical foul. And Reggie Miller steps to the line.
I'm stunned. 90% only get you fit.
You got other guys in the NBA. Steve Nash.
Allen Houston, I understand what you're saying, but 90%, you know. That tells you the quality of the free throw improvement in the NBA.
Houston, Ray Allen, Nash, Troy Hudson of Minnesota. Right there. At 90%. Artest with 1 on the shot clock.
And last year, Boston did a lot more running. They were a much better sprint team than they are this year. Reggie Miller picks up the foul.
Reggie Miller with the foul.
So Miller earns the foul, 26-8 in favor of the Indiana Pacers.
Remember last year's playoffs against New Jersey when they got off the floor and came back and won. Boston is a team that in last year's playoffs consistently was digging themselves in a hole, and I'm sure O'Brien would like to be out in front, but at least that gives them the belief that they can do it.
Spin! Miller! Right to Pierce. After the block, and Pierce drills it. Taken away, the first turnover by the Pacers. Here's Pierce. Slicing through the lane. And 1. And a foul on Jermaine O'Neal, and Pierce heads to the stripe.
And that's classic Paul Pierce, where he gets the ball and you never know exactly what he's going to do. But when it comes to the rim, he comes with such authority and power and control. See, Jermaine O'Neal should have been out in front. He waited too long, and then he tried to get out in front, hoping that Pierce wouldn't bring it all the way. When you see Pierce with that attitude, he's coming right at you. Now he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Pierce 80% during the regular season from the free throw line. A remarkable 21 of 21 on Saturday. He was 11 for 11 in the fourth quarter. That was too shy of an NBA playoff record. Of course, made free throws in a quarter.
You know what makes that more remarkable is last year he got the yips and he couldn't make free throws at the end.
Deep 3. He's not bashful out there. 2 threes. He has 6 points.
You elbowing me like this is remarkable that these are free and easy right now. Let's see if he makes those shots when the gun comes up. Pierce again.
During the regular season, just 1 of 7 from downtown. Jamal Tinsley against Boston.
What the Pacers don't want to do is give up a lot of this big lead. And so, you know, by now, so they're making about 13 minutes left in the half. They want to have a double-digit lead going in.
Another open look, and Artest unable to connect. 2 of 4 from downtown are the Pacers in the corner. McCarty for three. Drills it.
That's McCarty's spot. He likes to shoot threes from the corner. And again, you see the Boston Celtics on a little bit of a run now after struggling. Now they're only down 11.
Their first made three. Turnover. Bremer in time for Walker on a minute remaining in the first quarter. 29-18. Walker will take it and make it. And there's that run. Slice to an 8-point advantage.
It takes a mistake, some made shots, new life in the guys in green, and nervousness here from the fans at Conseco.
You mentioned no matter if they make them early, they're going to keep taking Boston Celtics from downtown. Stripped of the basketball is Brad Miller. Indiana will possess the ball. On the inbounds, 12 seconds on the shot clock.
And here in the first quarter of play, they've gotten high percentage scoring from their leading scorers, Pierce and Walker.
Miller in a crowd. O'Neal. Great body control to sprint right up instead of leaning in. O'Neal in double digits. Pierce gets by Artest and O'Neal. McCarty once again.
That's the danger of doubling up. You leave a guy like McCarty, who's dangerous in the corners, open 7-point game.
31-24. The remaining seconds of the first quarter. Tinsley to O'Neal. 9/10 of a second remaining in the first quarter. Dozen points for Jermaine O'Neal. And the first quarter comes to a close. 33-24. Pacers on top of the Boston Celtics by 9. Leading scorer for Indiana, Jermaine O'Neal, with a dozen. And late three-point shooting by Walter McCarty and Antoine Walker helping the Boston Celtics get back in and make it a single-digit deficit as we head to the second quarter. Game 2, first round Eastern Conference playoffs.
Miss Lewis. It is Miss, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Could you tell me again how you use 1-800?
Together by the Boston Celtics, led by Walter McCarty, native of Evansville, Indiana. Went to Harrison High School, was first team All-State runner-up for Indiana's Mr. Basketball. Knocked down a couple of crucial threes in the corner.
The Boston Celtics weren't making three-point field goals early in the quarter, and then they started to strike late. Walker, they got one. And the guy that was setting that up was Paul Pierce. They got so focused on cutting down the penetration of Pierce, he was able to find Walker, McCarty in the corners, and they delivered the shot. So the Boston Celtics fought their way back into it. It's a 9-point game, Matt, when the first quarter looked like it was going to be a sprint and a runaway for the Indiana Pacers.
Well, certainly has the same feeling as Saturday. Boston started 3 of 14. They've made 6 in a row since that time. And a foul underneath as Blunt is pushed.
Now Harrington with the foul, his first.
And Isaiah Thomas has some very good energized players. Artest, Harrington are very good perimeter defenders, but they get a lot of cheap fouls, and that's a cheap foul against Harrington. They can't afford to get him nicked up because he has to deal with Pierce. Quick move Pierce, another foul.
So Harrington just checked in, and he picked up his second.
When you have, excuse me, Matt, but when you have the defensive assignment of dealing with an offensive force like Paul Pierce, you really got to stay focused on who that guy is, what he's going to do to you, and how he's going to affect the minutes that you're going to stay out on the floor. He is in an attack mode from the beginning of this ball game. He's not taking a passive attitude. Misses that free throw.
A rare miss by Pierce in this series. Harrington played 24 minutes on Saturday and missed a big three with 9 seconds left in the contest. Pierce gets the second. Austin Crozier along with Tinsley, O'Neal, Miller, and Harrington. For the Celtics, Blunt, Walker, Pierce, Bremer on the floor, and McCarty. Short corner, O'Neal. Gets through the double team and a whistle. And a foul.
Mark Blunt picks up the foul. Jermaine O'Neal brought that ball into harm's way and was fortunate to get the call to go in his favor.
So O'Neal heads to the line. Jermaine O'Neal 73% during the regular season against the Celtics. 85% in the regular season. On Saturday, he was 10 of 14 as he misses the first. Only had 2 points in the fourth quarter on Saturday.
Substitution. Petit comes in and Blunt goes out. Eric Strickland in. Artest back out on the floor. Miller down, as well as Jamal Tinsley.
Strickland on Saturday in game 1 played the last 8.7 seconds of the first half. That was it. He has played more off of the basketball than he has as the point guard as of late. But in for Tinsley here. Back to a 9-point game.
See if the Pacers come out with more pressure on the ball and keep Boston with movement, getting McCarty these opportunities.
Strickland with the rebound. McCarty misses his first 3. Artest calling for the basketball. Crozier looking on the inside. Cut off by Petit.
See if the Pacers just start playing from the outside, dribble the ball and fight the clock. Turnover, Ron Artest.
Turnover on the dribble penetration. Walker going baseline. Offensive rebound. McCarty. And 1. McCarty working on the glass, and he heads to the line. Foul on Artest.
The quick push up the floor gets him in trouble, and you can see the quickness and the ability to, move by people with the ball. What Walker does sometimes when he's in close is quick shoot the ball, left it short, but McCarty was there to clean up.
McCarty, a factor coming in off of the bench. 3 of 5 from the floor, 2 of 4 from downtown. Sprinting to the bucket, and a whistle and a foul on the dribble drive by Strickland. And J.R. Bremer just picked up his second, but McCarty with 9 points.
Eric Strickland with 2 shots for your Pacers.
Had 3 in game 1.
McCarty playing in front of the home folks and wants them to remember, I used to be one of those guys that was special here.
That's right. That you talked an awful lot about. He was all everything in Indiana before attending the University of Kentucky. Tony Dell replacing J.R. Bremer.
That's probably why they don't have him up in the hallowed heavens. Traded. I mean, he didn't go to IU. He went to UK. It's unbelievable.
That is true. Of course, they made just a little bit of a run while he was there. Along with, of course, Tony Delk. Here's Pierce. Firing over Harrington, air ball. Pierce wanted a call, saying that he was slapped out of bounds in Indiana basketball.
Pierce will throw up some bad shots. He has a remarkable ability to play through them, almost like they don't exist, and still come up with some huge fourth quarters.
Cut off by Petit. Here's Artest for 3. Crozier. O'Neal spins. And their first 2 in second chance points.
Young fella keeping him on his back. O'Neal's done a tremendous job inside.
15 points for O'Neal. McCarty steps in. Walker mishandles. He'll step out. Knocks it down.
Driving home the 3 right now Boston has fought their way back into the game, and they got the Pacer defense scattered now.
20 of their 31. From the deadly duo, of course, of Walker and Pierce. O'Neal, jumper, no. Embiid limits them to one chance. Walker thought about it. McCarty thinking.
Well, McCarty is basically a three-point specialist. That's all he shoots. Is Artest almost stole that one.
Shot clock under 10. McCarty 36% during the regular season. Climbing up O'Neal, gathering the board and sending it to Strickland. On the run, O'Neal on the feed from Harrington. Harrington gets it back.
Now, the cuts that the Indiana Pacers were getting in the first quarter, the high percentage opportunities, those have gone away. And they're starting to play from the edges.
Only 2 offensive rebounds for the Indiana Pacers. That's Tony Dell.
And you ask, you know, what is the problem of the Indiana Pacers? It's that they forget what made them successful, how they got the easy score. And sometimes they will get lulled into working one-on-one and working for the jump shot. Harrington has picked up his third.
Harrington, in 4 minutes of action, just earned his third. And the Boston Celtics are putting together a run. Shots from downtown are going. Antoine Walker gets it back, said, I got it.
Paul Pierce, all-star forward.
Jerry Rice, 12 Pro Bowls.
Eric Winalda, 3 World Cups.
When you're the best, you play the best.
The infusion from Spalding.
What's the infusion? It's a pump inside the ball.
It's always ready to play.
No needles, no pumps.
No problems.
Forget these.
Perfect balance.
No flat ball.
No flat game.
Just twist, pump, lock.
You can play. The new line of infusion game balls from Spalding.
Play the best.
Play Spalding.
Now playing on Lego Sports, the NBA All-Star Game. It's the real deal, Bob. Here, got that right, Rick. Wow, great steal. He tries a long shot. Is it? Yes, all net. And puts on a little razzle-dazzle. Oh, just look at him move. Straight from it. You like that one, Rick? I know I did, Bob. Want to play?
Set comes with Corton Standard figures. All-Star figures sold separately.
NBA Hoop It Up, the premier 3-on-3 basketball experience is coming to your town. Don't miss your one shot to join the competition. Whatever your age or ability, whether you're male or female, a serious competitor, or playing for fun, this weekend tournament is for you. So sign your team up now and bring your friends and family out to enjoy this total basketball experience. Log on to NBA.com to find out when NBA Hoop It Up is traveling to your area. Get in on the 3-on-3 action.
An 18-point lead has been sliced to 5 for Indiana. Peyton Manning in high definition. Of course, former University of Tennessee Volunteer and current Indianapolis Colt. And let's send it over to Andre Aldridge. Andre?
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. I tell you what, Antoine Walker's value to the squad may be as big off the court as it is on, and it's pretty huge on. During the quarter break and during the last timeout, he's like a drill sergeant in the timeouts and huddles, kind of like the old trainer from Muhammad Ali, Drew Bundini Brown, telling the guys, it's just like I told you last game, they can't play with us, they can't do anything with us. And before the game, he told me, no matter what the score is in this contest, as long as it's close to double digits or close to 10 or 12 when the fourth quarter begins, they have supreme confidence that they can get the job done. Matt?
They're certainly proving that here in the second quarter. Petit, hook, no, and Crozier comes down with a rebound.
Well, in order to do well in the playoffs, you have to believe it. Your best players have to lead the way. And Walker and Pierce are the best players, and they play better as the game gets closer, and particularly in the fourth quarter play. Mercer's in the game.
Ron Mercer, Artest, Strickland gets it back. 3 on the shot clock. Mercer left open. Connects. For the Indiana Pacers, certainly a team that can doubt themselves because of what happened not only on Saturday but also during the course of the regular season in the second half. Did not play well in fourth quarters. Games decided 5 points or less. They were just 1-7 offensive foul on Antoine Walker. And when you're a young team, where is your reference point?
Well,
you begin to struggle.
you know, you have to remember, as I said before, what made you successful. We've seen that they've lost their way a little bit here in the first half of play, where they were moving the ball, cutting. They're now playing on the perimeter, and that is the kind of game that allows Boston to get back. It's the kind of game that gets Indiana into a streak of field goals missed. And so when you go like they did in game 1, 8 minutes, you make 2 field goals, you're not going to win a game.
Without Reggie Miller and Tim Hardaway, this team, the average age, 25.2. Crozier once again trying a 3. Second chance opportunity, they'll reset.
And Crozier is a guy that falls in love with the 3. He does one of 2 things. He either drives it or shoots a 3, and in both possessions he's had it this quarter, they've been deep shots.
O'Neal doesn't connect. Delt pushing. Walker backing down on Mercer. Takes it right to the hole.
They always get a mismatch with Antoine Walker, even if he's being guarded by a power forward, because of his ability to move with the ball closer to the rim.
And a foul. Antoine Walker has great recognition. If he has somebody a little bit smaller, he's taking him right to the hole.
Walker wants the same call. You know, he said, hey, you saw the guy go down at my end of the floor. You call offensive foul. Crozier knocks this guy down. You didn't see that?
Petit picked up his first, and Crozier heads to the free throw line.
Well, San Antonio ahead by 6 at the break, 47-41. But, you know, it's a struggle for them. And it's interesting that, you know, it took some good fortune for Phoenix to win, but it's given Phoenix the idea they can beat this team. This is the team with the best record in the NBA this season, 60-22.
Crozier from the line, successful. Well, you look at Stephon Marbury and the productivity he had during the regular season. Then, of course, in game 1 against San Antonio and Tony Parker, one of the most improved players in the NBA. They have a couple of all-stars, of course, in Phoenix. Sean Marion, and then the rookie Amari Stoudemire with 24 points.
Well, you also have to be lucky. And, they had a couple of, yeah, but I mean, that's part of the playoffs. You know, you get some good bounces, you get some fortunate shots to go in, and you win the ball game. And I think that they have to feel very good about stealing that game when they were in trouble most of it.
After the Mercer foul, Pierce unable to connect. Pierce 4 of 8, 10 points. Walker has 10 points and 4-7 shooting. 9-point game. Mercer. No. Walker. Walker leading the break. Driving. Around Crozier. No. Offensive rebound. Petit.
Wonderful imagination by Antoine Walker, and a better job of actually finishing the play, Tony Petit.
5 offensive boards now for the Celtics. 9 second chance points to just 2 for Indiana. Crozier, another chance at 3. 0-3 from downtown.
And the only way he's going to stop shooting that is for the coach to take him out of the game.
12 minutes in the first half. In game 1, did not play in the second half. Pierce over Artest. 1 and done.
Well, Pierce is in one of those streaks now where that medium range jump shot isn't going. When that shot is going, he's impossible to deal with. So fortunately for Indiana, he's not making that 15-foot jump shot right now.
Artest fronts Pierce, left hand, spills out. Pierce and Delt quickly into the front court. Delt dribble drive, gets hammered from behind. And a foul on Austin Crozier, and a timeout with 4:48 remaining in the first half. The Indiana Pacers holding on to a 42-35 lead.
When the Pacers have done well, it's because they've had good ball movement, good player movement, and they've been able to find the guy to make the shot. And that is the key of passing the basketball.
to Conseco Fieldhouse here in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Pacers lead 42-35. The 2003 NBA playoffs continue on NBA TV in high definition on Wednesday night as we proudly present Game 2 between the Magic and the Pistons, led by T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. The Magic are up 1-0. The 2003 NBA playoffs, NBA TV in high definition. It's on Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. And how about the performances over the course of this weekend? You mentioned Allen Iverson, 55, started here on Saturday with Paul Pierce, 40 points, 21 of his 40 in the fourth quarter. And the sensational big-time performances just continue.
Oh, they had a tremendous opening day. Individual effort. Nowitzki with a franchise-high 46, Philadelphia, and Iverson with 55. Reggie Miller comes back in this game. Brad Miller comes back in the game. Pass, cut, easy hoop for the Indiana Pacers. And that is what's missing, and that's what gets them in trouble when they don't move the ball, they don't cut to the bucket.
7 points now for Reggie Miller. The T, along with the veteran Grant Long, formerly of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Grant Long taking a real tough shot there. But Long is in to spell Antoine Walker briefly.
First time in the playoffs since 1999 when he's with the Atlanta Hawks. And the T just earned his second.
We always talk about it, but rarely do teams do this on a consistent basis. You know, guy comes off the ball, little screen, cuts back door. Look how open Reggie Miller is. So Walker was out for a minute, and he's back in the game, along with Walter McCarty, Grant Long down, Tony Battie down.
Walker, 5th in the league in minutes played, better than 40. Brad Miller, curling Reggie. Mercer, driving to the hole. And underneath, Artest battling for the rebound, and he is fouled. And since coming back out of that timeout, everything is, as you mentioned, is going toward the rim. Penetrating and cutting.
The second foul against Antoine Walker. The strength of Ron Artest apparent on that play. He was a little slow in getting off his feet, but able to hold his position. Antoine Walker picks up the foul.
Artest 73% from the free throw line during the regular season. 9 of 9 in game 1.
A lot of attention being directed in the way of Tony Brothers by the Boston Celtics. And again, a lot of times players forget. It's not the official. It's them. And when you get focused on the official, you end up losing focus of the game. You get yourself in trouble.
Was an 18-point lead. 26-8 with 3:11 remaining in the first quarter. It is now a contest that has been sliced to single digits as Eric Williams cuts through the lane and lays it up and through. 4 points. 6-point game.
If you're the Boston Celtics, you have to say feel real good about where they are right now. Look like they're going to be out of the ball game. Started very slowly offensively, picked it up. The Indiana Pacers were shooting lights out. They were moving the ball. They were getting almost anything they wanted. Now everything is coming from the perimeter, which allowed Boston to get back in.
Crozier over 4. Pierce in the corner. He finds McCarty, who connects on his third three. 12 points coming off of the bench for Walter McCarty, and a timeout taken by Isaiah Thomas and the Indiana Pacers. It is a 3-point game. A 22nd timeout.
Well, you know, one thing that you always talk about is teams, their personalities, their tendencies. Boston likes to shoot the three. They like to use Walker and Pierce to set it up. If Walter McCarty is in the game, you can almost bet he's at the offensive end in the corner somewhere. And every time he's made a shot, it's been from the corner, and he buries another one. So McCarty has been huge in bringing the Celtics back.
Stretched out to a full timeout.
Lead this one at the break 47-41, a must-win for San Antonio. Now, coming up at halftime, more highlights from San Antonio and a first-half recap of the Pacers and Celtics. Plus, we'll preview tonight's Game 2 in Sacramento between the Kings and Jazz. Now, back to Indianapolis.
Here at Conseco, Game 2, three-point game. Certainly our thoughts are with the armed forces as they continue their work over in Iraq. And Al Harrington prior to the game, along with Jermaine O'Neal and Jonathan Bender, heading over and signing some autographs.
Well, little known fact, Indiana has a lot of war memorials and tributes to those that have fallen and served in the service. But Indiana, as a state, has probably sent more individuals into service than any other state in the Union. And they're very patriotic here. This night that the players are out doing it.
Three-point game, Pacers on top. After the miss, Walker backing down on Miller. Over Miller. Short.
Well, Antoine not happy because that's his bread and butter shot right there, particularly against the smaller players, and he just rushed it a little bit.
Tinsley back in. Cutting underneath on the feed from Miller. Nice cut. Nice look by Brad Miller. Miller had 6 assists on Saturday.
If you're Indiana, you got to say, this is what breaks Boston down. Ball movement, player movement. When we do that, we score easily. When we hold the ball, we have trouble. McCarty against the clock.
McCarty driving on Miller. Help comes in the form of Jermaine O'Neal. Artest button up for 3. 8-point advantage. Timeout, Boston.
22nd timeout. But they're on their feet because of the remarkable defensive save by Jermaine O'Neal. O'Neal has the ability to block shots. He always comes with the left hand, and he will meet hard driving McCarty. He knows that O'Neal is there. He's trying to come with 2 hands, and you can tell which guy is the stronger of the two. McCarty goes away from the ball, and the ball is put back in play and out of play. Ron Artest brings them to their feet with a 3.
When athletes sweat, they lose more than just water. Gatorade puts back sodium and potassium, proven to replenish and rehydrate athletes better than water. Gatorade. Is it in you?
Averages 2.3.
Well, the Celtics got as close as they've been in the entire game, 45-42, and now on another run and Delk in the corner.
Delk drills it. It's a 6-point game. Nearing a minute remaining here in the first half. The first half in which the Celtics trailed by 18. Reggie Miller short. Delk, stop and pop. No, offensive rebound once again for Boston. Underneath in the putback by McCarty.
McCarty snatched that one and said, Jermaine, where are you?
Enthused play by McCarty. Leads the way for the Celtics with 14.
8 in the quarter, but he has played a terrific game here for the Boston Celtics, bringing him back. They called this foul against
Walter McCarty. That is his first. Paul Pierce having a conversation with Tony Brothers.
Well, Reggie Miller has the art of drawing fouls down as well as anybody in the NBA, and a lot of players feel that Reggie throws himself into them and flails and gets the calls. But if you know that, you gotta be ready for that. Reggie understands how to get to the free throw line, even when he doesn't have the ball in his hand.
One of the great free throw shooters of all time, Miller. 5 of 5, talking about knowing how to get to the free throw line. 5 of 5 here in the first half tonight. Indiana shooting 48% from the floor. Boston 41%. Walker, baseline, good. 12 for Walker on 5 of 10 shooting. 4-point game.
Both Walker and Pierce have shown some great patience in their offensive efforts. A lot of times they're volume shooters and don't really involve their teammates, but tonight they've done that and scored themselves.
6 seconds remaining in the first half. Reggie Miller, no. O'Neal, a rare offensive rebound and a putback for Indiana. O'Neal with 17 first half points. Turnover.
Everybody ran away from Blunt, and they got a 5-second count underneath the basket, so the Pacers have a chance to finish with 2.4 left with one more field goal.
Walker leaves. Williams back out on the floor.
Oh, they get it back.
Blunt hurls it right into the alleyway. He said, at least I got it back. Let's send it over to Andre Aldridge as the Indiana Pacers lead here at halftime, 54-48. Andre?
All right, thanks a lot. Here with Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine, you guys get off to the big start. 26-8 are up, and they come back on you. Any big concern then?
We just got to contain our leads, man. I'm a little disappointed with the way we treated our lead. We're at home. It's playoff time. We got to be able to, conserve our leads and be able to get some guys some rest. But collectively, I'm pretty happy with the way we play defense, making Paul and Antoine work hard for their buckets, and that's what we want to do.
Great defensive play by you. 17 points and 8 boards. Good luck in the second half. All right, back to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, Andre. Jermaine O'Neal on 8 of 12 shooting, 17 points and 8 rebounds in the first half. A slow start for the Boston Celtics, but Walter McCarty came through with some big buckets. O'Neal led the way for Indiana. It's halftime, game 2. The Pacers with the lead.
The stats, and after Boston had a horrendous start, and in terms of making field goals, they have improved dramatically. Indiana's come down somewhat. Field goals, big improvement by the Boston Celtics. Free throws, not a lot of free throws for either team. Rebounds very close. Turnovers, not a big item so far in this ball game. So I think that both coaches have to feel that they're in good shape for the second half of play.
One thing that stands out, second chance points, is Celtics 11. The Pacers improved to finish the first half with 5. Remember, the Pacers led by as many as 18 back in the first quarter as we begin play here. Third quarter, game 2. Celtics lead the series 1-0. Pierce with 4 on the clock. Shot doesn't fall.
Now Pierce used the line drive that one. He knew he was fighting the clock. He didn't really have the ball in his hands, but somehow got it on a string to hit the rim.
4-10 now from the field. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in the first half. Led by Walter McCarty coming off the bench. With 14, Miller, jumper, no. And once again limited to 1 chance.
Pierce is a funny player in that when he plays from the outside, doesn't make shots. He's still forceful because of the penetration, and he can set up the rest of his team.
Identical starting 5s for both teams at the start of the game. Artest puts it on the floor. Miller touches it last, and it's Boston basketball.
Those are the kinds of mistakes. Look at how many people are in that cluster right there. And Artest is trying to squeeze the ball in an angle. Those are the kinds of mistakes they made in the fourth. That is what they have to fix if they're to put Boston away, if they want to go to Boston with a 1-1 split.
Pierce under 10 on the clock. Miller on him. Delk. Rather, Williams to Petit with one on the shot clock.
Just the second field goal of the night for Tony Petit.
Petit didn't play much in game one because he was ejected for a flagrant 2 early in the second quarter. Walker ahead to Williams. Williams pulls up over Artest. No. Petit going in for an opportunity in his second chance. And O'Neal took it away. Spin move, Tinsley, and a whistle. And a foul on Tony Dell. And that is his first.
Well, good thing the foul occurred because it was a 5-on-4 break, and Jermaine O'Neal's man, Tony Petit, was on the seat of his pants. If they had got the ball into him, he's got 17 in the first half. Bad news for the Celtics.
O'Neal up high, Petit on Miller underneath to Brad Miller. High-low feed from Miller to Miller. 6 points, 5 rebounds for Brad Miller. Undrafted out of Purdue. Eric Williams. Short.
He is getting muscled by Jermaine O'Neal. Not happy with the non-calls. He's getting bounced around pretty good.
Using some physical force. Tinsley through the lane. Here's Artest. And wrapped up was Brad Miller with Eric Williams. Boston basketball.
Shot selection is everything if you want to win a ball game. And just because the three-point field goal is there, you don't necessarily need to take it. Indiana's had their greatest success when they pass, when they cut, when they move.
Just 3 of 11 from three-point range. Take it away.
Decision-making, Walker, not a good one there. Artest in previous possession, 2 bad decisions.
Artest. Petit comes out. Deflected by Dell. Here's Pierce. Behind the back, still working. Williams looks at the line, fires a 3, no.
Williams came out early, working on his perimeter shot. Hadn't made a punt. Maybe should have stayed in.
Cool off instead of trying to get heated up. Working that slant. Just relax. 6 on the clock. Down to 5. Here's O'Neal.
Another
poked away.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, Tinsley just knocked Delp off the ball. No whistle will fly, and is livid over there about the non-call.
Artest. And a foul.
Jermaine O'Neal.
And Austin gets it back. That is his second. Both teams struggling here early on in the third. Boston 1 of 5. Indiana 2 of 5.
Well, O'Neal said, I wouldn't have gotten this foul if the guy hadn't had the seat of my pants. I could have moved that other leg, but he couldn't move his other leg as he just leaned over there and popped. Paul Pierce underneath.
He's wrapping him up. Pierce to Petit. And a timeout taken by Indiana. Once again, a 4-point lead for Indiana. The Celtics trailing 56-52 in game 2.
You got to have pressure on the ball in order to prevent plays like this. No pressure on Paul Pierce. Money for Tony Petit.
NBA TV presents the NBA playoffs in high definition. Experience NBA basketball like never before. It's so real you can touch it. Now, NBA TV comes to you in state-of-the-art high definition. You'll have to see it to believe it. Watch the world's greatest athletes, larger than life. The NBA playoffs in high definition, only on NBA TV. It's fantastic.
Meet Timmy. Unlike most boys, Timmy was born with a computer for a head, making him very bad on the balance beam, at tetherball, and various playground games. But Timmy is very good at getting live and exclusive NBA audio and video highlights, only on NBA Inside Ticket with Reel 1, which makes Timmy very popular. Log on to realone.com for a free 14-day trial.
They say it's alright. Say it's alright. Have a good time. 'Cause it's alright. Whoa, it's alright.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
This is a clear example of why it's so difficult to work a game in the NBA, as Antoine Walker has the back of Jermaine O'Neal, and he won't let him move. So in order to set the screen, he's got to move, and he gets called for a move to the ground. And he's going, wait, do you see the guy holding my pants?
He had a lot of cloth, did Walker. Miller using the O'Neal screen to free himself up, and Petit with a rebound.
Right now, Reggie Miller doesn't look fluid on his shot. Looks a little bit stiff, like he's a little bit out of sync. Well, they get a foul on the Pierce penetration and drive. Ron Artest, that they had stolen that ball.
Artest. Williams will trigger the basketball in. 7:14 remaining here in the third quarter. Slow start for both teams. Pierce sheds Artest for three. Connects. And a one-point game with 7:04 remaining in the third quarter. 56-55. And the crowd silent. Artest on the skip pass.
Now Boston has offensively confused. Defensively has confused Indiana. Brad Miller bails them out there. They didn't know where to go. It looked like a zone, but it wasn't really a zone, as they had three people around Jermaine O'Neal.
Miller with 8 points. Pierce driving baseline, shifted the basketball, and a foul on Jamal Tinsley, and that is his first.
We spoke of Reggie Miller's ability to draw fouls, and Paul Pierce is his equal. The crowd is really upset with what they think is a bad call, as Pierce lost control of the ball but just threw his arms up. Oh, it's tight. It is really tight in San Antonio. A one-point game, 63-62.
And coming up later on TNT, Utah and Sacramento game 2. Sacramento won game 1. Of course, on Saturday, an NBA playoff record, most free throws made without a miss. Here's 21 of 21. He has a couple of misses tonight. 2-point game. Knocked out of bounds. Indiana basketball.
Remember when we talked about the first half of play and the way that the Boston defensive attitude was? It was passive. They allowed the ball to move. Now they're not letting that ball move freely. Artest will get the foul against Eric Williams. They're starting to pressure at the point of attack, and the Indiana Pacers are holding the ball a lot longer than they did in that first half of play.
Celtics extremely difficult on the inside. In fact, they hold opponents to just 31 points a game in the paint. That is best in the NBA. Right now, Indiana with 26, and a lot of those came early. And the foul. And the foul on Petit, that is his third.
He's got to learn to clock for Antoine Walker so you don't get caught. But
wrap him up from behind.
You got to get a hold of him where the official doesn't see your hand.
The shorts. 6 on the clock. 5 on the clock. O'Neal wants it. Miller puts it on the floor. And with 2 seconds remaining of the shot clock, Indiana basketball.
When you lose control of the ball, it's best to pretend that you're angry and you're mad. You know somebody fouled you. Miller never had control of that ball coming around the corner.
Miller wants to get back to the line because he's 5 of 5 there. And Eric Williams just picked up his third. Artest heads to the line.
Celtics have 3 team fouls, but that's a play that shouldn't happen. And Artest showing some of the athleticism and the strength on that play to be able to catch the ball and get it up.
Ron Artest at the line for your
Pacers trying to fend off the Boston Celtics. Led by 16 in the third quarter on Saturday. Shrunk to 10 entering the fourth quarter. Expanded to 13 with a little bit more than 7.5 minutes remaining before the Celtics came back to steal game 1. Remember, best of 7.
It was a 3-point lead, and this is one of the noisiest buildings in the NBA when the Pacers are playing well. But the crowd is nervous and anxious about what is going to take place here in game 2. Wow.
And maybe so are the youthful Indiana Pacers. The team fading away. 1-point game. Miller and 1. They're on their feet now. Reggie Miller. 11 points.
The beauty of this play is the quickness in which the Indiana Pacers attack. No dribbling. They get the ball to Miller early, and only as Reggie Miller can do double clutching, taking a little bit of a nick from Paul Pierce on the way, and a chance for a 3-point play.
He is successful. 12 points, half earned from the free throw line. 4-point game. The T looks for the handoff on Pierce, who just picked up his first, trying to guard Reggie Miller. The 3 doesn't fall. And it went above the backboard, and Tinsley quickly gets it in as Pierce is looking for the call. Miller sealed along the baseline. O'Neal steps in. Shot spills out. But T's right there.
They have not gone in the direction of Antoine Walker much here in the third quarter. He's got the ball now. Let's see what he does. When he hasn't had it for a while, he gets a little bit anxious and usually throws up a bad shot.
Dunk shot doesn't go. Tinsley into the front court. Miller underneath. The Pacers responding. After the lead was cut to 1, 59-58, they now lead 64-58.
Now, both teams have scored 10 points in the quarter, so they're back to the original halftime deficit. Williams trying to score inside, thought he was going to draw the foul, got nothing.
Miller disrupting. Here's Reggie Miller. Brad Miller taps it, and it's Boston basketball. Antoine Walker and Reggie Miller.
Nobody likes to talk more than Antoine Walker, and Reggie Miller gets inspired by talk. So we'll see if that translates into something good or bad for either one of those guys.
Pierce. Here's Williams. Trying to work. He uses quickness on Brad Miller. Shot with 1 on the shot clock. Spills out. Artest pushing ahead. Here's Tinsley. Finds Reggie for 3. No. Pierce positioned perfectly underneath. Dealt. Here's Eric Williams. Into the hands of Pierce. Stolen away by Artest. Scooped up by Walker. Under 10 of the shot clock. And Walker calls a timeout as he falls to the floor.
Well, he got hit in the eye, and Artest is trying to see if he's...
Artest needs to walk away. He's trying to help him up.
He's trying to help him out, but his teammates are trying to pull him away. And he said, look, I'm going to see if the guy's okay.
He's trying to make a point.
You know, that's all he was doing. But this tells you when he decides he's going to do something, nobody's going to stop him from doing it.
Well, he said that before. He has said that. He slapped him in the face in a full timeout to say goodbye to the Boston Celtics, and Paul Pierce went over to tell Ron Artest, just get out of the way, but Artest was intent on remaining right there to see and help and assist Antoine Walker to his feet. And right now, he's being checked out as Antoine Walker.
Larry, how is that Dell consolidation going? TCO's down. Uptime? Highly available. Great. And you? You know, we're still running a proprietary Unix-based system. Right.
A Dell flexible solution with Dell PowerEdge servers and Intel Xeon processors can help manage your enterprise for less. Easy as Dell. Call or go online today.
Celtics will continue his conversation with Tony Brothers about a no call.
Well, he didn't see Antoine Walker get hit, and in the ensuing play, Artest knows that he raked Antoine Walker across the eyes. Now, he's trying to see if he's okay, and this is where the melee comes, because all he's trying to do is take a look at this guy. Reggie Miller's trying to pull him away and say, get away from him, and Paul Pierce is saying, get off my guy. No mean intentions there by Ron Artest at all.
And a technical foul called on Paul Pierce. The reason for the Reggie Miller free throw. Walker for three.
I guess he's seeing all right.
He's got the eyes. Or the eyes.
I guess he's seeing okay.
Miller. Petit Hedges. Pass taken away by Petit. They're making it tough on Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, again, in order to get the ball to O'Neal, they had to do a better job of moving the ball and getting a better angle. You can't throw the ball from that angle and think you're going to get it in. Tough shot, Walker.
Hangs on the iron and then falls off.
Walker didn't quite have his balance on that shot, but he felt it and missed it short.
Tinsley.
You see, this is the kind of play that hurt them in the fourth, where they're standing, trying to post. You can almost see the direction of the attack, and the Boston Celtics are reacting. Petit comes from the rear, slaps that one away. So they've got to do a better job of screening, and that's why Isaiah Thomas is taking the timeout. We cannot become a team that stands and becomes predictable because we get too much time for play.
Tony Petit extremely active here in the third quarter. Jermaine O'Neal stuck on 17. A full timeout taken by the Indiana Pacers. He had 17 in the first half. He has yet to score in the third quarter as his Indiana Pacers lead by 4.
Paul Pierce, all-star forward.
Jerry Rice, 12 Pro Bowls.
Eric Winalda, 3 World Cups.
When you're the best,
Watch the world's greatest athletes, larger than life. The NBA playoffs in high definition, only on NBA TV. It's fantastic.
NBA Hoop It Up, the premier 3-on-3 basketball experience, is coming to your town. Don't miss your one shot to join the competition. Whatever your age or ability, whether you're male or female, a serious competitor, or playing for fun, this weekend tournament is for you. So sign your team up now and bring your friends and family out to enjoy this total basketball experience. Log on to NBA.com to find out when NBA Hoop It Up is traveling to your area. Get in on the 3-on-3 action.
Jamal Tinsley with a bucket, stretching out the lead to 7, 68-61. Tinsley with 11 points in all 5 starters for the Indiana Pacers in double digits with 1:54 to go in the third. 68-61. Matt Devlin along with Steve Snapper Jones. Game 2. First round action between the Celtics and the Pacers. Celtics lead the series 1-0. Pierce over Artest. Artest got a piece. Petit, 4 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And a foul will go against Antoine Walker. That's his third. Antoine Walker motioning Bernie Fryer.
Didn't get much.
He
did not much in the way of responses. He just kept holding the two fingers up and looking around.
Bonus situation, Miller executing from the free throw line.
For the most part, it's been a tight third quarter. Phoenix now on top by 7, 72-65 against the San Antonio Spurs. 2 at the SBC Center.
Huge.
A huge start for the Phoenix Suns.
Jeff Foster in for Brad Miller. Reggie Miller has the most playoff games ever in the history of this franchise, ABA or NBA. 111 games with 110. Roger Brown. He tied that mark on Saturday, the great former Indiana Pacer during the ABA days here in Indianapolis. 70-61 Pacers on top now by 9. The lead was 59-58. Since that time, just 3 points for the Celtics. Here's J.R. Bremer for 3. 62% of the rookie shots come from downtown. Dribble drive, kick out. Pierce, straightaway look. No!
Bremer had been sitting for about a month and came in firing. So even though most of his shots come from out there, you like to get a sense and a feel of the game. Bremer to the floor to make the save.
Here's Walker. Bremer. Under a minute remaining in the third.
And when Pierce was driving to the bucket in the fourth quarter, he's getting a clear side. He's not been getting it so far. Bremer gets one, finishes the play.
Speaking of driving, Bremer takes it right to the hole. His first 2. Didn't score in game 1. Said he did not expect to play this much in his rookie season after being undrafted. He has played a bundle this year, starting for the Boston Celtics. Over the last 47 games, started 41 games and averaged double digits. Holding for the final shot of the third quarter.
Normally in this situation, the ball will end up in either Pierce's hands or Antoine Walker's hands. They have Bremer trying to set the table. Pump fake, he tried to draw the foul.
Oh, he didn't need to draw the foul because he got the deuce to go. But you're right, he was trying to get the call, and he was unable to do so as J.R. Bremer knocks down the deuce. As we go to the fourth quarter, it's a 5-point game.
Chocolate maybe? Hey, Bobby. Well, I would rent a car for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Why not get right to the good part? Like Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards. Forget counting miles. Fly just 4 round trips and get 1 free by receiving double credit when you book at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Word has it someone here's trying to make a collect call. Calm down, people. All you gotta do is dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT. It's free for you.
To me, we will help me be the best I can be.
5-point game as we get set for fourth quarter action in game 2. Moments ago, Jim O'Brien, and it is Huddle talking to his Celtics.
You guys are playing a lot of minutes. Don't get burned on transition again.
a turnover, a missed shot, whatever. Get back. We're running an LA floor coming back to
Game 1 trailed by 10 did the Celtics entering the fourth quarter. Tonight by 5. They trailed by 13 with 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth and came away with a remarkable victory, 103-100, led of course by Paul Pierce. Under 10 of the clock. McCarty with a hand in the face of Artest. No, Crozier got a piece of it and Bremer tears it down.
One of the reasons that Boston is not as explosive as they were a year ago is because they don't have the same personnel. No Rodney Rogers, no Kenny Anderson. So with Walker and Pierce having to carry such a heavy load, they have a tendency to walk it a lot more up the floor. And that allows Indiana at least to control them defensively. But this is Paul Pierce's time. Coming to the fourth quarter, we'll see if Pierce wakes up.
Misses his first shot of the fourth quarter. Tinsley along with Artest O'Neal on the floor. Austin Crozier, Al Harrington had to sit early because of foul troubles. Limited to one shot. McCarty, Blunt, Pierce, J.R. Bremer, and Walker. Thing underneath. 3-point game. Nice find by the rookie out of St. Bonaventure.
Well, Bremer, since that early three-point shot when he first came in, has done some good things, and it's been 6 straight points by the Celtics.
Just 4 of 18 in the fourth quarter on Saturday in Game 1 were the Indiana Pacers.
And they did such a great job of getting O'Neal the ball in the first half of play, and they have not been able to get him many here in the second. Artest on his own.
A double-double for Jermaine O'Neal, 17 points and 14 rebounds, but footnote to what you're saying, he hasn't even scored here in the second half. Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, it's hard to score if you can't get the ball. Even you know that.
I do. 8 of 14 from the floor. Travel by Blunt. Turnover.
What the Boston Celtics do in early transition is get Walker out on the wing, and then they dive to the bucket, one of the easier hoops they've had the entire ball game. That basket made it a three-point game, but Indiana came right back, pushed it back to 5.
O'Neal with just one shot attempt in the second half. Petit. There's Pierce. And a foul on Pierce.
Petit gambled out in front, and that turned Jermaine O'Neal loose, and Pierce reached in. So Jermaine O'Neal goes to the line and looking a little weary right now.
Here's his second. Celtics do an excellent job of sandwiching in the post. Jermaine O'Neal heads to the free throw line, where he is 1 of 2. And 2 points in the fourth quarter in Game 1. Both earned from the free throw line. Antoine Walker had to guard him for the majority of the fourth. Held him scoreless. Six-point game. O'Neal. The lengthy pause. Gets ball. 19 now for Jermaine O'Neal. Pierce. Walker helps out with the screen. Under 10 of the clock. Kick out. McCarty driving. Off glass. Gets the roll.
McCarty has been the big difference so far in the game for the Boston Celtics. He's come up with some huge hustle plays and shown a lot of activity at the offensive end.
16 points for Walter McCarty. It's always with the Celtics. Who's going to be that third player that steps up? Crozier knocks down the bucket. First made field goal of the night, 1 of 5. And that's what makes the Celtics difficult at times, because you don't know who it's going to be. Whether it's Williams, Petit, McCarty, and tonight it's McCarty. Of course, it could also be Tony Dell. Under 10 of the clock. Walker spins back. O'Neal's there. Bremer with 4 on the clock for 3. Crozier handles the board.
For the Celtics, sometimes they start that offense out in front with Pierce and Walker. That makes it difficult for them to get the penetration. You can't penetrate as Pierce is going to pick up the foul against Jermaine O'Neal. But you can't penetrate against 5 guys, and that's where they're having trouble, and it's cost them a little bit at the offensive end.
Jamal Tinsley finds Jermaine O'Neal underneath, and Paul Pierce just earned his 3rd personal foul. McCarty, 16 points off of the bench as the Celtics try to make another run in the 4th.
Well, I had a really nice time tonight.
Me too.
Well, I guess it's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting late. Yeah, it's getting so dark.
See ya.
Call me?
NBA Hoop It Up, the premier 3-on-3 basketball experience is coming to your town. Don't miss your one shot to join the competition. Whatever your age or ability, whether you're male or female, a serious competitor, or playing for fun, this weekend tournament is for you. So sign your team up now and bring your friends and family out to enjoy this total basketball experience. Log on to NBA.com to find out when NBA Hoop It Up is traveling to your area. Get in on the 3-on-3 action.
Thanks for making me a fighter.
76-69, Pacers on top of the Celtics. 8:42 remaining in the 4th quarter of Game 2 on Tuesday night on TNT. It's more playoff action as the Milwaukee Bucks take on the New Jersey Nets at 7 o'clock, followed by the Lakers and Minnesota at 9:30. Let's send it over to Andre Aldridge. Andre?
Matt, thanks very much. You know what? Isaiah Thomas's big concern at halftime is something that he stressed, and it had nothing to do with scoring points, which might surprise some of the fans. It's the Pacers defense, and he wanted to stop Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce from getting into the paint in the middle of the floor and making the easy passes back to the open shooters. And he stressed that they had to do that in order to be successful, and that's why they're trying to keep these guys out of the paint, both of them, to make those easy passes for easy buckets for the teammates.
Thank you, Andre. Jermaine O'Neal at the free throw line, and San Antonio Phoenix are locked up in a tight one. O'Neal 78-69.
A 1-point game. So San Antonio trying to fight their way back, get control.
Pierce. And it's Boston basketball. Last touch by Artest. O'Neal a double-double, 21 points and 14 rebounds.
Well, let's see if they change the angle of attack for Walker and Pierce, and whether they can come from the wing, because coming down the middle has become very difficult for them, and they're not getting really a good chance to penetrate, which is forcing Boston to settle for perimeter shots.
Tinsley got a piece of that one. 9-point advantage for Indiana. Tinsley. Harrington. Trying to set up O'Neal.
When they get like this is when they get in trouble. They're going against the shot clock now, which is now down to 5.
Artest creating. Left hand scoop. No. Walker out on the run. Now slows it down. Under 8 minutes remaining in the 4th. Here at Conseco Fieldhouse. Pierce trying to get on track. No. McCarty, second chance.
See, O'Neal is back there playing safety as Pierce is going to turn this over.
Pierce. And a timeout taken by Indiana as Tinsley was able to gobble it up. And Blunt, or rather McCarty over there with O'Neal. It's a 20-second timeout. Paul Pierce, 5 of 16, 14 points, and has been unable to find the flow, and now it's extended to a full timeout. 78-69. Pacers trying to hold on for the split.
Now playing on Lego Sports, the NBA All-Star Game. It's the real deal, Bob. Here, got that right, Rick. Wow, great steal. He tries a long shot. Is it?
area. Get in on the 3-on-3 action.
7:42 to remaining.
But you take a look at this lead and you'll understand why the Boston Celtics are struggling a little bit. The fourth quarter was Paul Pierce's on Saturday. It is not today simply because of the gang defense and the fact that Pierce is not getting a lane to drive the bucket. No 21 free throws tonight, and they turn it over. So Boston, if they're to get back in it, they're going to have to find a way to shake Pierce loose, and Indiana's going to try to maintain that same defensive attitude.
Crozier cutting. Gives it up. Miller in the corner for three. Second look. Crozier up top. Miller through the fingertips right to Williams.
Now they're going to say, Rick, you shouldn't be out there. Get him out.
They won't say that. Trying to get him out on the floor in the fourth quarter. A lot of talk around Indianapolis about that. Williams cut off by O'Neal. Tried to get him out there, but it used up his timeouts, did Isaiah Thomas. And so Miller unable to get out on the floor. Key moments of the fourth quarter late. Artest, of course, Miller's done it so many times. Underneath O'Neal.
Good job by Walker and McCarty to come around and wrap up. O'Neal, well, it looks like San Antonio's going to get in it. Be in the series here with 12 seconds left.
Of course, coming up, Utah-Sacramento game 2 on TNT. Williams trying to set up Walker. Under 10 of the shot clock. Ducks in the lane. Shot spills out. Walker, 17 points. Pierce, 14.
They've been stuck on those numbers for quite some time, and if they don't get bigger numbers, then the Boston Celtics don't win. So they've got to get their big hitters to start ringing the bell.
Big hitter, Tinsley ringing the bell there with another three. Tinsley, 4 of 4 from downtown.
I thought you said he only shot 47%.
He done and 1 of 7 against Boston during the regular season, but this is the postseason. Pierce slicing. Here's McCarty.
They're going to get a foul on the pass off.
Yes. 81-69.
Well, you couldn't get a bigger shot from Tinsley as we get down to the 6-minute mark, and the Boston Celtics are struggling offensively.
Neal his third personal. And Tinsley ties him up. And he picks up a foul as Delk put it on the deck. Stretch back out to a double-digit lead, and Delk heads to the free throw line. Tinsley picked up his second.
There's still plenty of time for Celtics fans and their team to get back in the ball game, but they got to be a little bit quicker with their decision-making and more fluid in their offense. That ball is stopping too much, and when the ball stops, the defense sets and they see where you're going, and you end up not getting good attempts. They have scored so far here in the fourth. 5 points.
And of those 5.
And Mr. Fourth Quarter has yet to open up his offer. Paul Pierce has yet to strike.
Walker has 2. They combine for close to 48% of this offense. They need to get on track. Miller misses, and McCarty tracks it down.
Reggie Miller has yet to make a three-point shot. But anybody that knows Reggie Miller, they make one more pass, and that's a good cut for Tony Delk for the finish. They know that he doesn't believe that he's in a slump. They know he doesn't believe that he's not going to make a shot. So he's going to keep sticking them as long as he's out there. We'll see if one finally drops.
Reggie Miller has yet to hit from downtown, 0-6. An excellent job of getting to the free throw line. 4 on the shot clock, now down to 3. O'Neal makes his move. Tough angle. 23 for O'Neal. Pierce hasn't scored here in the fourth after scoring 21 of his 40 in game 1 in the fourth quarter. Delk. McCarty deflected by Crozier. 11-point advantage for Indiana.
Tinsley looking back and getting a call from Isaiah Thomas, and what Thomas wants to do is not only use some clock, but he wants to get the ball moving, getting guys going to the bucket. They don't want to be standing around, and then 2 on the clock for Tinsley.
His first miss, he was really stretched out. Gets wrapped up by Tinsley. And that's a third on Tinsley.
Well, Jermaine O'Neal hasn't had many opportunities, but in a solo situation in the second half, gets that tough fadeaway jumper to fall in to push the lead to 11. And Tony Delk is back on the line. Right now, Tony Delk is the feature offensive player for the Boston Celtics. Got 4, looking at 5 in the quarter, and just trying to keep Boston close. 4 minutes to go. And Boston still has a shot.
Delk had a dozen on Saturday. Jermaine O'Neal did not score in the third quarter. Excellent job by the defense of the Celtics. Here in the fourth, he has 6. Crozier, open, takes it, doesn't go.
McCarty has been big on the defensive glass for the Celtics. Long arms, stretching out. Pierce coming in a hurry now.
7 rebounds from McCarty. Down. Saves it. Time of the shot clock. Williams. 8. McCarty dribble drive. Williams. The 3 ball doesn't go.
Warmed up too much. Wasted the ball. He hasn't made a shot from in that corner since he came out.
1 of 10. 4 points tonight after an 18-point performance on Saturday. Walker on O'Neal trying to push him away from the block. Miller for 3. Reggie Miller responding to the crowd. Finally is what Reggie Miller is saying. He hits a big three in a timeout taken by the Celtics.
So it has been Indiana's ability to make the big 3-point field goal here in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics' inability to make anything in the fourth that has given Indiana the lead. And Miller time finally has arrived, and Reggie says, you know, this is what I live for, and maybe this.
Can't touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable, shake the unshakable. And see the unseeable, reach the unreachable, do the impossible. Yes, can't move the unmovable, stop the unstoppable. Yes. We got now, we don't kill, got next.
They say you don't know what you want, that you have to get your act together, that it's time to find a direction in your life. And they say that you should find somebody. Oh yeah? Who says?
I am who I am, this is the way I live, I'm gonna...
What's most important is being you. Budweiser, true.
Once again, it's time for an NBA TV update. I'm Mark Morgan. Suns and Spurs fourth quarter, just over a minute to go. Look at San Antonio clinging to a 1-point lead, not for long. Manu Ginobili buries a 3-ball. Spurs go on to win it. What a huge shot. 84-76, must-win situation for the Spurs. Steven Jackson, 23. Duncan, 22 and 12. Remember, stay tuned to NBA TV for complete post-game reaction of Pacers and Celtics following this contest. For now, let's go back to Indianapolis.
3:03 to go, fourth quarter. First 3-point shot that fell for Reggie Miller extends that lead, and Paul Pierce has struggled in the fourth, battling, of course, a severe head cold, and it hasn't worked in the fourth like it did in game 1.
Well, Pierce is not a player that will make excuses for his performance, but you have to go a long way back to find out when Paul Pierce is not scratched in the fourth, and he has not cracked here in the final period of play, and they need Pierce to play big. Walker as well. Walker on the drive picks up the foul at the line.
Walker at the free throw line. His first attempt of the night.
What they Celtics need is the clock to stop. So they need plays that drive the ball, stop the clock, get a chance to score. For the Indiana Pacers, they would like to see that clock continue to move, so they got to make sure that they don't foul, and when they get to the other end, move the ball and move themselves. It is just a 9-point quarter for the Indiana Pacers. So if for the Boston Celtics, so if the Indiana Pacers feel the defense was the difference, they have certainly achieved that.
Our test in this 10-point game. 6 on the shot clock. Crozier for 3. No. Tinsley sneaks in and snares the board. And Reggie Miller tells him to get up top and set this thing up.
Well, again, they want to use time off the clock. And so they're looking to use as much time and then try to get the ball. Are they going to get it to Jermaine O'Neal? Going to call a Walker with the foul.
That is exactly what occurred. Walker disapproves. And that's his fourth.
When has he? You've never seen him say, yeah, good call.
True. You're exactly right. In fact, I've never seen a player approve.
You have to think about that for a while.
They always disapprove. Our test shot. No. Crozier with a putback. Can't finish. Under 2 minutes remaining. The last time Pierce scored a field goal in the third quarter, 7:09 was on the clock.
But he has made some difficult choices in trying to get the shot going and taking a lot of shots deep and has not been able to find the range there. Another one off the mark.
1 of 7. He's had trouble sleeping because of the head cold. That it's been fatigue. His legs haven't been there. They were there in the fourth quarter for 12 minutes. Now O'Neal and Walker conversing.
Well, Walker trying to hold, trying to keep O'Neal from getting a low post position. Too obvious, and get the call against Antoine Walker.
His 5th. And he figured since earlier he was able to tie him up by the shorts. Why not now?
I believe he's a better disguised position.
Miller. Crozier.
O'Neal and Walker are locked up for whatever reason, and they're going to get a technical foul against, I'm not sure, they're going to call a double technical.
A double technical, Bernie Fryer, Jermaine O'Neal, and on Antoine Walker. 2 All-Stars, 2-time All-Star Jermaine O'Neal, 3-time All-Star Antoine Walker, now Walker and Miller.
Oh, that's just the frustration of the night for Antoine Walker. I mean, I think if they thought they were going to win this game, with all of the talk about the Pacers would fold in the fourth, and they didn't, and they thought they would go home 2-0, they're frustrated with themselves.
Celtics have never led in this game. They cut it to 1, 59-58. However, the youthful and Walker and O'Neal continue to have a conversation. O'Neal taps Walker in the back of the head.
Well,
the youthful Indiana Pacers responded when it was 59-58.
It's a long series as far as the Indiana Pacers are concerned, and they know that it will be more physical in Boston. So O'Neal is letting them know if this is the way it's going to be, I'm going to be here all 48.
And, of course, getting the split crucial for the Indiana Pacers because they are tied with Orlando for the worst Eastern Conference road record by a playoff team at 16-25. Now, Phoenix, 14-27 on the road. Didn't matter in Game 1, and they put up a fight in Game 2 at the SBC Center in San Antonio. Pleased with the effort tonight. The fans here at Conseco Fieldhouse. They were certainly in doubt in the fourth quarter. Our test on Saturday in Game 1, where they are pleased tonight.
Well, in the end, the Indiana Pacers did a better job defensively and offensively. They wanted it more, and their fans stand in approval.
Jermaine O'Neal, what a night. 20 rebounds, 23 points, 17 defensive rebounds. Ties a playoff career high. Jermaine O'Neal, tremendous effort. Paul Pierce tonight We talked about it at the top of the show, what he did on Saturday in Game 1, but the Magic did not return in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's an aberration for Paul Pierce. Normally the fourth quarter is his time to shine, and one of the fans sitting here telling me they've never lost in high definition, so the Pacers want high def for the rest of the series. But Pierce has struggled, and every great player will struggle, but the great ones respond, and he'll be back as the Indiana Pacers win this one.
Boston did not score from the floor over the last 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Paul Pierce just 3 of 5 from the free throw line. He is #1 in the league in free throws made as well as attempted, and he was unable to get to the free throw line or connect in the fourth quarter as he goes scoreless in the fourth. The Celtics fall in Game 2. Indiana with the split, and we send it over to Andre Aldridge, who is standing with Jermaine O'Neal, and what a huge night for O'Neal. 23 points and 20 rebounds. Andre?
Right. Thanks a lot, Matt. We talked to Jermaine at halftime. You were serious then, you're serious now, but you even the series at 1 apiece. How do you feel?
Man, this is a good old-fashioned Western bar fight. You know, it's going to be, both teams are scrappy. Both teams aren't going to give up. It's a must-win situation for us. I'm extremely proud of the way we finished the game. We finished the game like that Game 1. We up 2-0 right now, but we got a tough task at hand. We got to go to Boston and play in a tough environment. Our key is to try to get 2, but get 1 definitely.
23 points, 20 rebounds. What, you couldn't get no assists for us?
Nah, it's hard because they sending 2 or 3 people around me, so it's hard to see around. But I got to definitely, tip my hat out to my teammates, coach, staff for making some adjustments. And I think whichever team's going to win the series is the team that's going to win the chess match.
Great game, Jermaine. Congratulations to all even at 1 game apiece. And let's get back to Matt.
Thank you very much, Andre. And of course, Snapper, as you know, typically when you get thrown out of the saloon out of West, you always walk back in. And guess what will happen on Thursday night? The Celtics will walk back in. This 7-game series is now tied at 1 apiece. The Pacers win 89-77. Jermaine O'Neal with a double-double, and Reggie Miller with a big 3 late. Next game here on NBA TV will come on Wednesday night. The Orlando Magic and the Detroit Pistons. For our entire crew, outstanding job from Indianapolis, Indiana, along with Andre Aldridge, Snapper Jones. I'm Matt Devlin. So long, everyone.